She caught me looking. The alien warrior's reaction was nothing I expected. The first time I saw her, she wasn't wearing the ornate silver armor she would later be known for. She was standing among the wreckage of the battlefield. Blood, smoke, and the remnants of two civilizations scattered under the pale suns of Atari's 9. I was a medic with the Human Alliance, assigned to the Peace Observation Corps, which, in plain words, meant we were supposed to patch up whoever survived the carnage long enough to talk. I had seen soldiers from a dozen worlds, insectoids, scaled, crystalline, but nothing like her. She was tall, elegant even when covered in grime and ash. Her skin had a faint luminescent sheen that pulsed softly beneath the smoke, and her hair, a strange mixture of silver and violet, shimmered like the edge of starlight. She had been injured, one arm cut open from shoulder to wrist, but she stood as though the pain didn't matter. I knelt beside her to treat the wound. Her people, the Velreth, weren't exactly known for trusting humans. Their empire had once declared humanity unfit for higher contact. But the war had changed everything. We were now reluctant allies, joined by necessity, not friendship. As I opened my medkit, she fixed her golden eyes on me. They glowed faintly like molten metal. "Do all humans stare so much before they work?" she asked. Her voice was low, firm, and carried the faintest echo, as though layered with two tones. "I'm not staring," I lied, fumbling for the autosealer. "Yes, you are," she said evenly. "You've been studying my face since you walked up." I swallowed hard. "Sorry. I've just never treated someone like you before." Her lips curled slightly. "Like me." I gestured helplessly. "A Velreth warrior. You're kind of legendary. Among medics, I mean." She didn't answer, but her eyes didn't leave me, not even when I pressed the sealant over her wound and activated the dermal field. The smell of ionized air filled the space between us, and for a moment, the chaos around us faded. Then she said something unexpected. "You have steady hands," she murmured, "and a wandering gaze." Froze. Before I could apologize again, she added softly, "But you don't mean offense. Humans wear their curiosity openly." And with that, she turned away. Part 2 weeks later. We were stationed together aboard the Talon's Edge, a joint military outpost orbiting the gas giant Keltor. I hadn't expected to see her again, but she appeared one day in the medical bay, her armor glinting under the sterile lights. "Medic Rowan," she said, her tone clipped but calm. "The commander says I'm to undergo post-combat diagnostics." "Right," I replied, trying to hide the flicker of nervousness. "Take a seat." She sat, but even at rest, she seemed alert, like a blade that never dulled. Her gaze followed every movement I made, and I could feel it like static electricity crawling up my neck. When I leaned close to scan her vitals, the scent of her armor, faintly metallic with a floral undertone, filled the air. She tilted her head. "You're doing it again," she said suddenly, and blinked. "Doing what?" "Looking," she said with a faint smirk. "At my markings." "I wasn't." "They change color when someone's curious," she interrupted. "They're bioluminescent nerves. Your staring triggers them." I quickly looked away. "Sorry." She chuckled softly. "Humans. You apologize more than you breathe." I couldn't help but grin. "And Velreth warriors intimidate more than they smile." That made her pause. The faintest expression crossed her face. Not anger but surprise. "I'm Kira," she said finally. "Since you're determined to look, you might as well know who you're looking at." "Rowan," I said. "Human field medic. Professional non-staring type." Her laughter this time was genuine, light, melodic, and far warmer than I expected from someone whose people had once declared war on us. From that day, Kira came to the Medbay more often, always with a reason. A bruise from training, torn gauntlet, a miscalibrated neural implant. But I started to realize those reasons didn't always hold up under inspection. Sometimes she just came to talk. Part 3: The Training Hall. It was late one cycle when I found her in the training hall. The lights were dimmed, the air thick with the hum of energy weapons clashing. She was alone, moving with inhuman grace, her twin blades carving streaks of silver light through the air. I leaned against the doorway, quietly watching. It wasn't just her form or precision that caught my eye. It was the way her movements seemed almost mournful, like every strike was meant for someone who was already gone. When she finally noticed me, she stopped mid-swing. "You again," she said, lowering her blades. Still staring. I laughed nervously. "Guilty. You fight beautifully." Her eyes narrowed, but not in anger. "You mean efficiently." "No," I said quietly. "I mean beautifully." There was silence, the kind that stretched just long enough to feel dangerous. Then slowly, she sheathed her weapons and walked toward me. When she stopped, she was close enough that I could see faint luminescent veins tracing along her neck, pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. "Humans see beauty in strange places," she whispered. "Maybe," I said. "But I think that's what keeps us human." Her expression softened. For the first time she looked away, not out of superiority or irritation, but as if she didn't quite know what to do with what I'd said. Then she turned back to me and said something that made my chest tighten. "You look at me the way my kind once looked at the stars, as though they still held something worth reaching for." Part 4: The Infiltration. 2 weeks later, the Talon's Edge received a distress signal from a derelict cargo vessel drifting near the atmosphere of Keltor. Kira volunteered to investigate. I, being the only medic available, was ordered to accompany her. When we docked, the air inside was heavy with decay and static. The lights flickered, shadows shifting with each pulse of the failing reactor. Kira led the way, scanning with her wrist console. "Stay behind me," she said. "If anything moves, don't hesitate." "I'm a medic," I replied. "I hesitate professionally." She shot me a look. "Not tonight." We found bodies, human and Velreth alike. Whatever had happened here wasn't a simple malfunction. The crew had turned on each other. Signs of psychic contamination. And then we heard it. A whisper through the ship's comms, a distorted voice repeating Kira's name. Her grip on her sword tightened. "They shouldn't know that name." "Who?" I asked. Before she could answer, a shadow lunged from the corridor, something half-human, half-corrupted, with eyes like molten glass. Kira's blade was already moving. The fight was brutal but brief. She moved faster than my eyes could follow, every strike clean, every dodge precise. But in the final moment, when the creature fell, one of its claws sliced across her side. She staggered. I caught her before she fell, lowering her to the floor. Her armor was split, blood shimmering like liquid silver. "Stay with me," I said, fumbling for my medkit. Her hand caught mine. "You shouldn't have come," she whispered. "If this ship is infected with mind seed tech, we're both compromised." "I don't care," I said. "I'm not leaving you." Her gaze flickered and she whispered, barely audible, "You really don't understand us, human."